Is it possible to reduce inflammation in the body through anti-inflammatory diet? The simple answer is yes. Right? Certain foods cause inflammation and certain foods help to reduce inflammation. So today in this video, I'm going to be talking about anti-inflammatory diet and how it can really help deal with chronic inflammation. Now, some people have chronic inflammatory diseases like rheumatoid arthritis, ulcerative colitis, irritable bowel syndrome, multiple sclerosis, those kind of diseases. And when they use anti-inflammatory diet in the right manner, we see great improvement. So today, let's talk about how should you be following anti-inflammatory diet, for how long should you be, following anti-inflammatory diet. Is it healthy for everyone? Now, before we move on to that, let's really understand what is inflammation. Now, inflammation is basically a normal reaction in your body to any threat, insult, infection, trauma, to which your immune system reacts by sending white blood cells to combat these threat and infection. However, what happens in autoimmune disease is that your immune system starts seeing the normal cells of your body as a threat, and thereby it starts acting up on your normal cells. Now, this is not a normal scenario, and this is where a lot of disease take place, right? And this is exactly what happens in diseases like rheumatoid arthritis, spondylitis, colitis, irritable bowel syndrome, multiple sclerosis. So this is where anti-inflammatory diet can really help. I've made certain points that I want you to listen to and make a note if needed. Also, if you really like the content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Now, the next is, if you're overweight, now pay attention to this. If you're overweight, the diet is not going to work because the fat tissues release pro and pro-inflammatory hormones like leptin and cytokines. Now, if you're overweight and you just follow, the diet not in its totality with an attempt to lose weight, the diet may not work successfully because there are pro-inflammatory hormones around your cells. So you definitely need to make an attempt to lose weight, right? The next is, don't do a radical diet for a few months and get back to your old regime. Instead, make sustainable changes so that you will be able to manage and reverse this inflammatory condition in your body. Now, when we talk about anti-inflammatory diet, now here are the points that I've made, and I want you to make a note of it as well if it's you or anybody who you know is suffering from chronic inflammation or chronic inflammatory diseases. Avoid white bread, avoid refined flour, avoid gluten. Instead of that, you can use oat flour, you can use cassava flour, you can use buckwheat flour, you can use millet flours, you can use millet grains, you can also use unpolished hand-pounded rice, but avoid gluten. Next is avoid sugar and artificial sweeteners. Instead of that, replace it by natural fruit sugar, by dairy sugar. It may take you a little time for you to be able to relish that taste, but once you practice it for a few weeks, you will definitely start enjoying, and you won't be able to enjoy the artificial sweetener or the added sugar. Number 3 is avoid soda and carbonated water. You can replace it with plain water, coconut water, berry smoothies, lemon water. So work on healthier options when we're talking about anti-inflammatory diet. Next is avoid processed food, very, very important, and replace it with fresh and raw fruits and vegetables. Next is avoid processed meat. You should buy grass-fed organic meat and cook on your own. Don't buy pre-cooked stuff, because there are a lot of preservative, lot of chemicals which are not good when we're dealing with chronic inflammation. The next thing is you must understand about processed and packaged food. Now, when we talk about processed and packaged food, these are the foods which are not, in their natural form. They've been either cooked, they've been canned, they've been, processed. There are chemicals added to it. There are preservatives added to it. So steer away from those processed things. And remember, even the healthiest food can be processed and it will lose all its nutrition, all its benefits. So you need to look for unprocessed natural foods, especially when we are dealing with chronic inflammation in the body. Next is avoid unhealthy fats, especially trans fat and hydrogenated oils, which are used in your, frozen pizzas, microwave popcorns, cookies, cakes, biscuits. Instead of that, replace it with healthy fats like extra virgin olive oil, almonds, walnuts, canola oil. These are the things that you should be replacing your unhealthy fats with. The next is replace red meat. While I am not saying a complete no to your red meat, but restrict it to once a week and one serving of red meat. Instead, you can go heavy on lentils, beans, chickpeas, green leafy vegetables. The next on the list is limit alcohol. 1, because of intoxication. 2, because of, it impacts your gut lining. It disrupts the fine working of your hormones. So avoid alcohol and avoid all these cocktails and sugary drink that comes with cocktail. If you really want, once in a while you can have 60 ml of wine, but just stop at that. Next is limit caffeine. Now, caffeine again will, irritate your gut lining, will increase the inflammation in body. Also, when you use caffeine, you also end up using a lot of cream, a lot of sugar. So avoid caffeine and avoid sugar and cream rich things. Avoid packet snacks. Very, very important. Like I said, in the packet snack, they add hydrogenated fats, they add trans fat, there is processed flour, which is basically a short thing to increase inflammation, to be a trigger of that chronic inflammatory disease. So you will see more manifestation. Instead of that, replace it with nuts, dry fruits and fruits. They'll be much healthier option. Also remember, anti-inflammatory diet is a diet which is healthy for everyone. So the whole family can really follow these do's and don'ts and see their health improving. And when it comes to healthy eating, I follow this approach called PESCI approach, where P stands for plan. So please plan your whole week in terms of your menu, in terms of your groceries. Make a list, make a shopping list. And in PESCI, P is for plan, S for shop. So when you go shopping, make sure that you do it once a week. Don't end up going to supermarkets very often. Go with your list and don't end up buying unnecessary things. Don't go close to aisles which have processed foods. You have to be very, very careful. Right? Next is C, which is cook. Like I said, you should cook your own food. If you can't cook daily, then cook in large batches, but cook as much as possible. Avoid eating ready to eat foods. And E is eat mindfully. Very, very important. Eat without distraction. Enjoy your meal. You want to make it a family time. Go ahead and enjoy that as your family time. Stay away from TV, phones and everything while you're eating, and always remember, you are what you eat. I hope this video really helps you to deal with chronic inflammation and chronic inflammatory diseases. if you know of someone who's dealing with this, please go ahead and share this video with them. Make notes, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching.